Hey guys, Kyle James Patterson here, owner of Celtic Fitness SA. Today I've got a little bit of an audience with you here today. I just want to introduce her to you guys. It is Natasha Janssen van Rensburg.
Welcome audience to my PowerPoint presentation.
Celtic Fitness SA Gym. This is going to be my PowerPoint presentation. Now, this is going to be about fitness maintenance within our gym as well as workplace communication. Okay, we're moving on to our first slide. This is my floor layout for my gym. As you can see here, emergency exit, moving through to the juice bar, moving through to our strength areas, warm-up area, indoor swimming pool, stairs leading up, and our bathrooms conveniently located for the clientele walking in. I used a U-shape for my gym layout, just for ease of access and for clientele to move around freely. And the red triangles that you guys can see here is used just to show you guys that is our fire extinguishers conveniently located. We have about 4 on the first floor. Alright, moving on to the second floor here. Again, here's where the stairs leads up. Again, we've got our U-shape. For easy use of access, a lot of gyms use this. I thought it was just perfect to do that. Warm-up area and our 2 studio areas will be at the second floor as well as our emergency exit. And again, you can see our red triangles indicating the fire extinguishers. I just want to mention before we move on about the pool being downstairs. Should be self-explanatory, but it is used obviously downstairs for the piping issues that we may have for the pool. Okay. Moving on to our reasons, we've just gone through that briefly. Just wanted to have it laid out here for you guys in case you wanted to see. As we mentioned, U-shape, mat areas, pool located downstairs for the conveniently located for the piping, as we mentioned, emergency exits located. Alright. Our hygiene considerations in the gym. Now this is obviously where our workplace communication comes into account. A gym manager can't do everything, so he needs to communicate through to his staff as well as his floor supervisors on all the considerations that needs to be mentioned. These are high filtration vacuum system need to be used by the cleaners through the floors just to get all that dirt and whatever issues may be on the ground at a gym, such as sweat and that. Good ventilation systems running throughout our gym. For good oxygen to be ventilated through our gym to decrease any hygiene issues that we may have. Regular spot check cleaning of the equipment. Cleaners walk through with clean rags and some liquid on it just to clean through them. Gym pool obviously needs to be cleaned around the clock. The chemical balance needs to be taken as well as the filtration system needs to be checked either by a floor supervisor of my own who will be educated in this. Or someone that we might need to call out to come and check that. Roller towels and disinfectant sprays will be available on the gym floors for any customers or cleaners that might just want to quickly spot check, as I mentioned. Clear signage will be stating the rules and regulations visible for all clients based on our hygiene considerations. Just basic things that everybody knows to do in a gym. Okay, moving on. We're going through to our equipment. Now I chose 3 different types of equipment. Firstly, here is our treadmill, electrical treadmill here. It's obviously used for runners that don't always have the opportunity to run, so they can come to our gym, especially if it's late at night for people that work. I chose this equipment because it is probably one of the busiest apparatus or equipments used in a gym. A lot of people are having lots of movement on there, so I thought it would be great to do that. I want to maintain these machines by obviously weekly maintenance. It needs to be correctly lubed up under the bolts, as well as if it becomes shaky, the bolts need to be retightened. Okay, we're moving on through to our electrical cycler here. The purpose of this is for recovery and for cyclists that want to warm up before an actual race. I chose this again because a lot of people like to ride bikes, but they don't always have the opportunity to do so outside. And again, it's for people that are recovering from injuries. To maintain this, our handlebars need to be tightened regularly, as well as the machine needs to be wiped down from any excess sweat from our clientele, just to keep it from rusting. Obviously, monthly services needs to be done as well. Okay, we're going through to our Stairmaster here. This is great for resistance training. I chose it because it's great for very beginner type cardio clientele as well as advanced. And to maintain this is again, wipe it down, but do not use any liquids because it may damage the electrical system of it. And again, if the bars become loose, you just need to retighten those. Okay, moving on to our strength equipment. The Z bar. The Z bar is used by obviously a lot of weightlifters because the shape of the Z bar allows the weightlifters to lift the weight a lot easier, and that's my reason for choosing that one. To maintain this, it's routine maintenance. It needs to be well oiled with a nylon brush. Regularly needs to be wiped down to prevent the sweat from obviously sticking to it and eventually rusting it. Moving over through to our second one, we've got our bench press. The purpose of the bench press is obviously for mainly upper body strength. The reason I chose this is because it's a great area in the gym to compete with your colleagues, obviously coming from work, and a great place to build your upper body strength, forearms and the chest. To maintain this, again, very much like the Z bar, you wipe it down with your oils. You make sure that the excess sweat doesn't stick to the seat, obviously to prevent the rust on the metal parts of the bench press. Moving on, going through to our leg press. This is used obviously for quadriceps, and it's great for clientele that doesn't want to use other parts of their body. It isolates your quads, so you can get a lot of more lift there going. I chose the leg press because it's great for, again, beginners and advanced gym goers to lift a lot of weight and to move on eventually to heavier and different equipment. To maintain this, it needs to be well lubricated, clear of all dust, wiped down on a regular basis, and obviously when you wipe it down, then you only apply your oil, checking that it doesn't get stuck on the upward motion. That's why we need to oil it. Alright guys, we're moving on to our next slide, which is about my safety considerations in my gym. Now if you can't see it, because I know there's quite a little bit of writing, I'm just going to go through the points for you guys and explain it. Okay, we're going to start off with our wet floor signs in place where necessary on the gym floor. This is very important for clientele just to see if there's any spillage around. Very important for safety. People can fall, get lawsuits on their hands. We don't want that. Fire extinguishers need to be strategically placed, as I showed you in the shape of the gym. They're strategically placed for safety purposes. Our safety policy needs to be up to date as well as visible on the floor. We just need to make sure that all of our safety documentation is up to date. We move through to our current leisure facilities, policy and procedures displayed. As I just mentioned now, that's just an additional documentation. Our risk assessments needs to be updated, new equipment assessed as purchased. So when we receive our new equipment, we need to make sure that all is in order before we obviously place it on the floor. This is just to make sure that our equipment is safe. We go through to our emergency procedure. Now this is again where our workplace communication comes into play. Our staff need to be very, very knowledgeable and professional on our emergency procedure. It needs to be well thought out, and as I said, employees need to be aware. A schedule needs to be established for our emergency procedures so that weekly we can actually go through a prep emergency procedure before our store opens, as well as before it closes, just so that they know exactly what's going on. Our member rules and regulations are very important, just so that exactly our clients can be aware of all of the rules and regulations when they sign their contract. They need to be aware of exactly what it is they need to be doing and not doing within the gym, just to make sure that they're safe, the equipment is safe, and we just have an enjoyable experience all around. Okay, moving through, we're just again still on safety considerations. Gym equipment. Now this is the fixed equipment as well as the free loose equipment. We need to consider the maintenance of this equipment. It's very important. A customer can be using our equipment, it breaks, they damage themselves, so we need to maintain our equipment religiously. Equipment servicing arrangements. We need to organize a schedule. As I sent through to you guys with the handouts, you would have seen our servicing schedules exactly indicated with the orange and the red when our equipment needs to be serviced. Frequency of in-house and external inspections needs to be done as well. This is actually done by an outside company that comes and inspects the gym just to make sure that all is in order, so we need to make sure that we're up to date with that. Check our competency, skills and suitability of the performing checks. Again, that just turns back to what I was discussing with our staff being aware of that. The age of the equipment. Again, this has got to do with if the equipment needs to be replaced. We need to be aware of exactly how long our equipment is around for. Alright guys, moving on to our supervision of users. Now this basically means that our staff needs to be onto our rota. A staff rota will be made up by the gym manager or floor supervisor, just to make sure that we have enough staff to assist people. Facility continuously manned, as I said, got to do with the staff rota. Staff qualifications and training undertaken. I will arrange for all of my staff to get the necessary training qualifications they need to maintain our gym correctly with our customers. Access control into facility. We have tags, our Celtic Fitness tags to get in and out, again presented to every new client. Operating procedures in place. Basic operating procedures designed by the manager. Staff training undertaken religiously. As I said, staff need to be aware of everything that they need to be aware of within a gym. Okay, moving on to our last slide here. User injury. Induction scheme in place. This again, workplace communication with our staff. We need to know exactly when an injury occurs on the floor, how we deal with that. Okay, qualifications of our trainers and supervisors employed in the facility needs to be put up within the gym so that our clients can see that our people are trained, they are qualified, deal with any injuries that may take place. Does our equipment provide backup guidance signage to further inform users? We need to make sure that when the clients are using the equipment that there is explanations on exactly how to use that. Okay, our access control, as I mentioned before with our tags, unauthorized use must be controlled with monitored admission system with the tags, as well as at reception if they need to sign in. Security of facility to be considered. We have security outside the facility maintaining that. Swipe card entry, we have our tags. Manned reception or permanently supervised gym facility, we have our reception staff there at all times. There needs to be at least one staff member. Thank you guys for listening to our PowerPoint presentation, and I really enjoyed having you guys here with me, and I appreciate you coming. Till the next time.